So, in honor of this being the last weekend of season 0, I think every season that happens, we're going to do a tier list for 2XKO. As always, and this will be recorded as well, this will go up on the Red platform. I want to stress that tier lists are opinions, they are not set in stone. They are meant for discussions, and honestly, that is only the discussions. So if you feel offended or if you feel like, Saki, what are you talking about? I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. So without further ado, let us begin with the official Saki Sakura tier list going on. So the first one I have here is Alawi. Right, so Alawi is in an interesting, she's interesting situation, right? So I personally feel when I fight Alawi, one of the things that stands out for specifically Alawi is the fact that her normals are really good, her damage and chip is really good, and she's also someone that is able to set up tentacles with just her normals being put out. Like, it's just part of her kit, right? So for me, with Alawi, you know, she's a really good character, but does she play 2XKO? And that's something that I really want to make clear here when it comes to how I view this tier list, right? Like, this tier list, if you're in the top part of the tier list, it means that you not only stand as your own as a character, but you also stand really well regardless of the fuse that you're using, whether it be sidekick, whether it be double down, whether it be 2x assist, whether it be juggernaut, whether it be freestyle, whether it be double down. Like, again, all of that comes into play as far as about like characters. And I'm actually glad you asked that, Parasite. So Alawi is one of those characters that while she has a really good kit, she suffers in certain fuses. One of them is Juggernaut. She's the type of character that if you have her in Juggernaut, she's not going to win a lot of those 2XKO battles, right? Because she needs an assist to cover her, right? And her value, believe it or not, is better as an assist, which is why when you do like a sidekick fuse, right? She does better as the sidekick that is doing the assist versus being the point character. And that says a lot about like her specifically. Again, she's not a bad character and her kit's not bad, but in the meta of this game and how it works with fuses, she's not a character that it doesn't matter where she goes. And for me, that's an A tier character. A tier characters are basically characters that regardless of their really good kit, the fuse that they are on is going to matter, and with the synergy that they're on with that character, right? So like, again, she's really good for sidekick if she's an assist, but if she's the character that's point, she's not a good assist. If she's Juggernaut and she's the point character, she's not a good assist. She's also very particular about how she is paired if she's a point character. If she's just used as an assist and she's the assist character in the other fuses, doesn't really hurt too hard. But she is a character that relies on that kind of like, she's very specific to, and A characters, that's what I see A characters at. The next character that I actually will say is Teemo. So Teemo, I believe, is actually, as crazy as this is gonna sound, is right before Alawi as A tier. I know, kind of shocking, especially with my hatred for Teemo, but there's a reason for it. So Teemo is a character that was hotfixed. There was a lot of things that he was not supposed to have, and then on top of that, he, I believe, is going to get further hot fixes and nerfs coming soon. So he's going to be a character that's going to be normalized. And I think where he was in S tier played a lot into that, but now it no longer plays into that, right? So that's why I believe that Teemo as a character, he has mushrooms, he has his badges, he has the setups, but it's manageable now. Like, towards the end of season 0, it has been more manageable dealing with Teemo. And what I feel is where he's the strongest is very much similar to Illaoi. You can't do a Juggernaut Teemo. You can't do a sidekick Teemo. You can't really do a freestyle Teemo, right? Like, these are characters that he excels. Or, well, I guess you could do a freestyle Teemo depending on who it is. I think more of Double Down. Double Down is where, like, he probably is like the weakest in terms of the fuse for damage. But my biggest thing with him is that he is able to just suffice as that character that leaves projectiles out, that leaves that does really well with his assist, and you just kind of call it a day. Plus, as an assist, he's building up his badges, right? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. He's building up his badges. That's the end of the day, right? So I do feel that when it comes to Teemo, he is really good for being that character for A tier. And he's above Illaoi, in my opinion, for that. Echo! There's no words. There's no words. That man is top 1. That man is top 1. And I know you Echo players are like, but Yasuo is top 1. No. No. Learn the Yasuo matchup. That's what I tell you. Learn the Yasuo matchup. Echo top 1. Do I really need to go into why Echo's top 1? Sure thing. I do need to go there because y'all don't believe me. Echo is a character that can do whatever he wants. The fact that they had to change the entire projectile system because of Echo should tell you everything. Okay? Echo's time winders, strong as heck. Echo's neutral, strong as heck. Echo's air normals and air movement, strong as heck. Echo's assist, strong as heck. Echo's super, strong as heck. F this character. Massacre the character. I don't care. I'm done. Of course, the Yasuo player says Echo's top 1. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Top 1. Echo is top 1. I don't care what anybody says. This character can kiss my ass. Genuinely. Genuinely. This character, come season 1, I hope that he is nerfed to the ground. Okay? Can't stand this character. Can't fight against this character. I hate this character. To be fair, Echo players say Yasuo is top 1. Let them say Yasuo is top 1. And you know what I tell them? Learn the matchup. Learn the matchup. And then I know what you Echo players are saying. You're probably saying, Saki, you should learn the matchup. You have a projectile that stays on screen until the end of time. They nerfed my projectile. What did they nerf for you? You have a projectile blocker? That doesn't do anything! They nerfed the neutral behind the wind wall that I have to set up on a particular situation. Have you guys not seen how much I get my butt whooped when I set up wind wall? I did not think so. Echo's top 1. Oh, my mouse died. Hold on. I should probably fix that. Give me a second, guys. I think, do I have... Hold on. See? My mouse died because of Echo. And then y'all yell at me for saying stuff. Hang on. And y'all yell at me for being like, no, Suki. Again, what Okizemi does Echo have? Echo can literally meaty, and he has no problem meeting. Not only that, if he is on level 3, he can just reversal level 3 with no risk if someone hits him for it, and he's Gucci. Like, he has the most freest like Oka's like freest whatchamacallit, level 3 in the game. Papito, go. Alright, there we go. Okay, Warwick. So I believe Warwick is an A tier character. Why? So I've always said that when it comes to Warwick, he is a character that is just really well built, very similar to Illaoi. I think that he's probably the perfect example of how a character in 2XKO should be released and should be maintained. Is there things that they obviously could buff him? Absolutely. I don't deny that. I think that it's pretty valid to ask for a couple of buffs, especially as Warwick players. But what I do really like is that whatever they do to him, I don't foresee them over-tuning him, right? Because he has his damage, he has his neutral, he has his way of getting blood rage. Like, Warwick as a character, I feel, does what he needs to do, and I can accept Warwick as that character. I can accept Warwick as someone that is just trying to play the game and play his game, and that's a-okay with me. Has a great assist, has great strengths in different fuses, and the reason I don't put him in S tier is because, again, he's not over-tuned that makes it impossible to beat him. There's ways to go beat him while he's still a really good character. To be honest, I think a lot about Jade from MK11, not the gameplay, but the fact of how she was. She was a character that you didn't really need to tune her or over-tune her or nerf her. Where there's some things that she needed to have better, like better block and damage, sure. And we've always, like, Jade players had always asked that. But we were always aware that Jade was a really good and strong character. And that for me is what A tier is all about. Again, it's that's a character that no matter where you place them or what you do, it's gonna be a strong character, right? So I really feel like with Warwick, if there's any bugs or any tune-ups that he needs, it's not gonna hurt him, and it's also not gonna make him too crazy. It's gonna be where it needs to be. So that's why I say Warwick is A tier. Why do I put him after Illaoi? Well, because I still believe Illaoi's assist is way better, especially on the 2X fuse style. And then Teemo, again, just with Teemo, he has the mushrooms, he has the poison, he has the zoning. It would be a shame not to have Teemo if you're playing a style that's really about that. So again, Warwick goes on the A tier. Vi? As much as I hate fighting against Vi, I also feel she is on the A tier. As much as I hate, like, admitting this, I do feel that she's on this B tier right here. Now the question is, do I foresee her better than Warwick? I feel like she is stronger than Warwick for sure. I do feel that. I feel like her synergy though is not as good as Illaoi and as good as Teemo. I think with Vi, what my problem the most with her is how much of a knockdown pressure she has. But again, she needs to knock you down to have that, right? And I feel like compared to the other top tier characters, she just complements them. But they don't complement her, if that makes sense. So as much as I hate Vi, I hate fighting against Vi, I do think that she's a bit stronger than Warwick, and hence why I don't feel like she's at the tippity top like I would expect, you know, Warwick to be, for example. You know, if they tune up Warwick and they kind of work on it, then I could see Vi being like a bit stronger, but I don't really see anything beyond that, right? As far as Vi in terms of P styles, like you still can play her in Juggernaut. You can even play her in Sidekick. You Double Down is probably though her best bet. I just feel like she will struggle. Like her neutral and her openings are a lot harder to actually meet on the same playing field compared to the other characters. Yasuo. He's in D tier. No, I'm sorry. I lied. He is top 2. He's top 2. He's a great character. What can I say? He pairs really well. He has damage. He has great neutral. You can play him anywhere. If you have him on Fury, he's really good. You know, he's a great, like, he's my husband. Like, I don't know what you want from me. He's my husband. You know, he does really cool stuff. What can I say? The fact that he also level 2s into the level 3 is also pretty important to like note. The there, you know, they didn't take that away from him, and he really shows for it. And also his stance is just annoying, right? Like he can go into a short hop or he can go into the left side, and then if you try to actually risk on the left side, you might get clipped by his horizontal sword. So yeah, I really think Yasuo is a really good character. Braum is C tier for me. So my thing about Braum, right, is that you need to get him with ice. Without ice shield, right, he's C tier. With ice shield, he becomes really good in like B or A, like very low A, high B. Okay, but the problem with it is that it's also easy to counter. So all you have to do is just knock him down to take that away, whether it be a grab, whether it be a super down, whatever the case may be. And so I think that hurts him a lot more. Also too, it's almost impossible for him to open players up unless he's going for lows. And then even then, it's still not hard to do like push blocks and things like that. It should be like Teemo, where it's a condition. With that in mind, I really feel like it's not that Braum is a bad character. I just don't think he's playing 2x KO the way you need to play 2x KO. I have no fears of Braum, right? They have to play more risky than I do, personally speaking. And that's the thing that I think what a lot of Braum players really struggle with is that when they're playing risky, their protection is really based on the assist that supports them. So for example, Braum and Vi, you could charge up the assist and then you can throw out Braum. That made more sense. Braum and Alawi, really good team. Can't complain about that team, to be honest. You know, but notice that they are assists that help support Braum in creating those risks so that they're as safe as possible. Without those assists covering, any Braum player that's doing like charge and neutral or any of those like really high risk moves, you're gonna see a really easy time with the Braum. You'll tell the difference if there's a good Braum player. And at the end of the day, they're outplaying. They're just straight up outplaying. Ahri, S tier. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Ahri's pretty S tier. Great movement. Projectiles, the fact that she can keep herself safe on projectiles, it's not a lot of risk. It reminds me a lot of Jade and her Razor Rings. There's no real risk to doing like her dashes. Like you can do Fox Dash and then you can still remain safe. Like you saw Avatar Yaya trying to, you know, catch up to her and she just couldn't. Her aerial movement is phenomenal. She is really hard to anti-air. Her also small body is very hard to actually capture. she's just a really good character. The upcoming nerf that she's getting for season 1 is really gonna hurt her. How much though, and how much she's gonna get affected, truth be told, I feel like it's just more on the combo routes and the neutral. But again, her movement is still so good. I really don't see her changing too much. Unless they have other nerfs in mind, which we'll find out more when the patch comes out. But as far as like Ahri specifically, right now, you can pair her up in any way, shape, or form. She's a really good character. She just creates optimal opportunities. She has great Oki. She has great setups. She has great pressure. You know, in a blink of an eye, chip pressure is like gone. She can pair up with anybody as far as synergy goes. Again, I cannot complain about Ahri. Her assists, while they're not too crazy, they're still really good. She's a top 3. She's a top 3 character. Jinx, I am gonna place her at the B tier, and I'm gonna explain why. Jinx is a really weak character, but a really good Jinx, you can tell how annoying she's gonna be. I do feel that they're gonna overtune her, and I think she'll be at the level that Teemo was at some point. I do feel though she needs it, because she's in a position where she's not, her game plan and her gameplay is just weird, right? Like it's not what people imagined, and I feel like they tried to implement like the setups and things like that, and it's just not gonna work. But with Caitlyn, I feel she's gonna be paired up very well, and I feel like Caitlyn is the reason why they're tuning her up, because Caitlyn sort of plays in that same similar idea with just a more precision than Jinx does. Jinx is more of like throw out rocket, throw out laser, react, la la la, set up, whatever. Caitlyn's going to be more precision, and I think that that's what Jinx needs, is that precision. So I do put her at B. B is the character that, like, these are characters that their ideas are solid, but their execution is just not there. And it really requires you to outplay, very much so. Darius! Ever since Alpha Lab 2, or sorry, early access, or no, my bad. Ever since open beta, Darius S tier. That character, I knew Alpha Lab 2 was probably, in my opinion, his weakest state. Ever since closed beta and then into early access, he has just been such a strong character. It is crazy. His normals, from both aerial normals to grounded normals, is insane. His damage, when you pair it up also with other characters that deal just as much damage, is insane. And then more than anything, it's just the fact that this man is just crazy. Like, he is a tough cookie to fight. And I also want to make mention, Bleed was a lot worse in Alpha Labs, and Bleed is not his problem in early access. What his problem is that he just has these really good buttons that just no tomorrow just defines what exactly you're doing with him. He's a very strong character, and I do believe he is the reason that he is a top 4 character, and he's on the S tier. And then Blitzcrank needs help. Blitzcrank, whatever they tried to give Blitzcrank in the mini buffs, it's not working. This character is really, really weak. I have no fear of this character. I also feel like this character, the conditions and the risks and everything that they set out for him, there's just no fear. Granted, I'm playing Ahri and Yasuo, right? But I feel like when you look at all the characters and what they do and what they perceive and what they give, Blitzcrank is just not there. Blitzcrank serves as maybe an assist, and sometimes not even, because the assist doesn't even feel as strong as it could be. So